Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Templin. I'm the Reasonable Tech Dad, and I am here with a guest I'm very excited to talk to. Someone I love and admire and respect. My cousin, Cat Darby, a union painter for 20 years plus, and she is here today to give us the rundown on the union painter game. So, why don't you start, Cat? Tell us your story. How'd you get started?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I oddly enough got roped into doing painting by my stepdad. Rick had mentioned to me because I was working at a gas station at the time. I was the assistant manager at a holiday gas station for like 2 years, 3 years, and he said that he could guarantee that I'd make at least 15, $16 an hour. I was
What were
like,
you making at the
oh,
gas
that
station
sounds
at the
good.
time?
I was making $9 an hour at the gas station. No,
Woo!
forgive me, 9.25 at the gas station as
Kids
an
don't know nothing
assistant
about them
as
wages.
an
They know nothing
assistant
about those
manager.
wages.
Hey, we're talking about oh one,
Hey, Broadway
oh
Pizza
two.
night manager
Whoa,
925.
we're talking back in the day, man, when $9 was awesome. Like, sign me up, man. Went from six
So,
to nine. I was like, ooh, yeah. So $9.25 an hour as an assistant manager at a holiday gas station in the ghetto, Franklin and Cedar in Minneapolis. And he was like, well, if you join the painters union, you can make like at least $15 an hour. I was like, but that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
yeah.
So I just looked. I went down there and I asked him what I got to do to join the painters union. He was like, well, what you got to do is you need to pay $100 entry fee, and you need to get hired by one of these contractors. And he gave me this list of contractors, which was like a 3-page packet of contractors. So I had to go through and find a contractor to get hired by. And I also had to pay $100, but I didn't have $100 at the time. So I have $5. I went to the gas station. Bro, I went to the gas station. I bought a $5 scratch off. I won $100. I
Shut
said
the
it
fuck
was
up.
meant to be.
Shut the
I
fuck
I
up.
literally
No
used that hundred
way.
dollars and I bought my freaking way into the union. I swear, man, it was like fate or something. So
Sounds like it.
this was July of 2005 that happened, and I'm like, okay. So after 3 years of doing the gas station bit, I left and went to be a painter, and I got hired by Painting by Nakasone, which is a big like it's a big commercial painting outfit out of St. Paul, and they do a lot of like apartments and hotels and stuff like that. And he also likes to hire minorities, so because he's Japanese or whatever, so he likes to hire minority painters, which I didn't know that at the time, but I you know it was kind of
Was that
cool.
useful for him at a business standpoint, or was it just a
I mean, I
preference?
think so. From what I understand, people that own businesses that are minority, they actually have better outcomes as far as like their loan offers and things like that, and the things they can do with
Tax
their business.
benefit.
Yeah, there's benefits as far as I know. And then like I said, me being I'm black female, that's a rare thing in this industry. I'm gonna tell you right now.
And you
In
know how to
any in
paint.
any in any trades industry.
Hey,
Oh no, no, don't get
hey,
me wrong,
we're,
bro. Bro, this is 2005. I didn't know shit.
you know how to, you didn't know
I
how
didn't
to
know
paint
I
yet?
didn't know a damn thing. I mean, I knew that I could paint. I didn't think it was that hard. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. But according to these people, I didn't know nothing. I was,
Sure.
I'm just a little peon. So they're like, okay, here. I get hired at this place. They give me a little 4-foot step ladder. They give me what they call an idiot stick. I was like, what? Why do you call it idiot stick? He's like, because you'd be an idiot to forget it. I'm like, okay, I get it now. It makes sense. It's an extension pole. Is what it is. It's a little
They're
two and
setting
four
you
foot.
up. So what's
It's
going
a extension pole. And he gave me some. He gave me a bucket of brushes and like a hand masker, all sorts of stuff that I need. I'm like, what am I? He said, you just bring this with you everywhere you go. I'm like, wow, where am I going? Like, going to all these different places to use all these tools. I was excited. I was like, why you guys gave me a little goodie bag? I literally, because I'm an apprentice, man. I'm an apprentice. I didn't realize that, you're just an apprentice. You don't do much. I had all
Did they
this
tell
stuff.
you that? Did you have that title right away?
No,
Was
yeah, I was told I'm an apprentice. I didn't have an understanding of what an apprentice meant. And in all actuality, it doesn't mean anything specific. It just means that you are lacking in your ability to. You're not quite skilled in your trade yet. As an apprentice, you are
sure.
hired to learn. This is your learning process to be an apprentice.
I think that term, the way you just described it, is exactly how it's used in every,
Exactly. The
right?
idea is you're supposed to be learning. The downside is what I've discovered about a lot of journeymen, because once you're after apprenticeship, you reach journeyman status. So a lot of journeymen that are older, ready to retire, they don't really like to teach apprentices, which I find um, irritating because how are they supposed to learn if you don't teach them? You know, how are you supposed to keep the trade going if you're not going to share what you know with the youth? You
Couldn't
know,
agree
and
more. Could
and
not
I
agree more.
you know, and I learned that as I was getting into this industry is that there was a lot of people that were very threatened by these younger people coming into their jobs, and they didn't want to teach you anything. So I didn't get to learn much as an apprentice, honestly. You have to. I was told, as far as a painting apprentice, you need to have 245 classroom hours where they teach you in class, and then 6,000 on the job training hours. So there's 6,000 hours that you need to work and earn this information that they're supposed to teach you. It's not that they're keeping track of this information you're earning. It's that they're keeping track of the fact that you have been working in this industry for at least 6,000 hours, which is,
And who's they? At the
essentially
time, it
about,
was Minnesota Department of Labor.
they would be, maybe I would say, but
Because
so
that,
everything I went through
I,
was Minnesota School of Finishing Trades is what kept track of my hours.
okay.
So I didn't know if the labor industry was technically involved, but I assume they had something to do with it, maybe. But we did have to send all of our hours to the Finishing Trades Institute, and they would once they got all that information, they gave us a certificate that said, "Oh, you're no longer an apprentice, you're journeyman." But now,
You know, the reason I don't have a journeyman electrician license is because they
because you
scrapped 3 hours. No, I
three?
worked for 3 years. 3 years.
Oh,
I
I
said
thought you
three
said three
hours.
hours. I'm like, damn,
I did say
that's a
3 hours.
that's fucked up. I mean,
Three.
they petty over there.
So, LeSueur Cheese, my first job out of college
I
after
remember that
graduating
you had
from
the
Anoka
neon
Tech.
shoelaces at the cheer.
Yeah. That's right. I haven't thought about that forever. The neon giant. Had to pull that out, put the, the hot yellows.
I'm like, man, this is what you get upgraded to neon shoelaces at the cheese
And you
plant.
had to have the steel toes. So
Oh
steel
yeah,
toes with the
yes.
neon. Yeah.
That's an
Uh
attire right there.
3 years. 3 years working under the assumption when I was hired, looked dead in the face. Yes, as an apprentice electrician, even though I went to an automation, it was industrial control wiring, and
Right.
I ended up doing a ton of regular electrician stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Um, 3 years will count towards your journeyman license. We have a master electrician who works at. I probably shouldn't even be putting company. Fuck them. Cambria. They said we have a master
I
electrician
remember. Yep,
that
I
works
remember all that.
at Cambria, and then my 3 years came up, and I remember doing my annual review, and I said, "Hey, you guys ready to sign off on those hours? I got to be. I mean, I started prepping for the journeyman test because the
Right.
electrical journeyman test in Minnesota is notoriously difficult compared to the rest of the country. Like
Oh wow.
when you become a journeyman electrician in Minnesota, and I think this applies to a number of Midwest states, but you can travel around the rest of the country and show up to a job site and you are a journeyman.
Really?
Other states around the country, when you come here, you have to recertify because we have higher standards than the rest of the country in the Midwest. Minnesota for sure.
Is it because we have different like wattage systems or something? Like
No,
I
no,
don't
no. It's because we have more
voltages?
stringent testing.
Ah,
We have much more
yeah.
difficult
To be
testing.
fair, now that you say that, I guess I do. I have seen some stuff about that. I don't know much about
I
electricians
don't,
though.
it's been a long time. Oh, sorry,
Bless you.
excuse me. Thank you. It's been some years, but I'm fairly certain on top of the code and the memorization and the application, I think you actually have to like thread conduit and
Jeez.
wire up shit. So anyway, that doesn't matter. Long story short, 3 years they told me get fucked. Nobody, our master electrician left, and you're not getting any of your hours. So, needless to say,
Yeah, I wouldn't stick
uh,
around if that was the case either.
it was a
Brotherhood of
really
Electricians, huh?
it was 2 years of school and 3 years of work in an area that I was not a big fan of.
That's
That was a
messed
tough
up.
blow.
Is it just
But
because?
anyway, enough of
Hopefully that's
that.
just. Hopefully that is a rare occurrence, and they don't
I would
continue to
agree.
do that.
I
This
would
was we were
agree.
talking years ago. Maybe they've changed things now. at least I would hope.
It's water under the bridge. Bad stuff happens all the time. People got to adjust, and
No, man,
adjust I did.
that's teas under the bridge, bro.
Adjust I did. So let's get back to painting. So you talked about how you got in it. You talked about being the apprentice and talked about being around journeymen that were experienced who were not very open to teaching, which was
Yeah,
difficult. What made you stick around? Why did you stick it out? Why did you stick it out with that
Honestly,
tough
because
situation?
I was getting paid more than I was getting paid at what I was doing before.
Sure.
It was God, 2005. I had, two kids at the time, and I mean, I'm trying to make a career for myself. I'm not trying to go back to doing little BS work and shit. Like, I'm not trying to do this little customer service thing. I can't go back to the gas station, man. This is I didn't try to do this to go back now. I mean, when I got into the industry, um, it was things were really slow. People weren't really building things. There just wasn't a lot of
I graduated in
building going
'04.
on.
The
You
union was
know?
flooded. The electrical union
Oh,
was flooded when I
yeah,
graduated
yeah. When I first started out, really heavy into it, it was like I heard stories about there was like 200 electricians just sitting on the bench.
on the
You know what I
bench.
mean?
600 when I
Right?
graduated.
Right. And then here we got painters that apparently they just can't find enough of them. But there's not an abundance of work for them
If they're
because
treating them like you, no wonder they keep looking for people.
exactly. Man, I'm like I'm surprised. To be honest, I'm surprised I stuck around as long as I did with that first couple years, bro. It was hard. I did not like. So I left the gas station, right? Even though I was only making 9 something dollars an hour, I made like $32,000 a year there, which is not. I mean, when you think about that in today's terms, like that sounds like
Poor as fuck.
that's crazy. Like,
With your broke
how
ass.
did you even afford to buy milk or something? You had an apartment too? No, no. 32,000 a year at the time was like it's still a
Good
little
money.
bit, but it was
You
over.
were
I was doing okay. I
sure.
got paid every week. I was making bills, getting bills paid and everything. So then I freaking joined this union the very first year. I joined in July, and then by the next spring, I had made like $9,000. I was like, wow, wow. Yeah, I was really thinking I should quit. Um,
Brutal.
it was brutal, but I did stick it out, and I managed to get hired at this company called it was Steinbrecher Painting. They were out of Princeton, Minnesota, and they were doing all these at the time back when Sears was around.
Oh yeah,
God, man,
Sears.
I'm just old now.
You were getting old. It's eating us both. I
Sears,
remember going to Sears.
they had these Lands End sections in Sears. It was like a little special section of the store. So they did all these remodels, and we had to paint all these remodels for Lands End, all the Sears all over the place. So I did all those for a while, and then I started doing all the Targets. Back when they sprayed all the red. I got
You
to
got
spray a lot of
stories.
paint. I got to spray a lot of paint. I come home red every day, just full of red paint. It was fun.
So you stuck around because of the money. That's cool.
Dug
I
around
mean,
money,
that's as good a reason as any.
found out I really liked it. Like I got better at it and I understood more
I
of it,
remember
more
you
about it.
talking about that years ago.
Yeah.
Like you,
Yeah.
it found a place in your heart. You're like, man, I
Yeah,
love
it was
doing
I
this.
to be honest, I just did it because I thought it would be fun and then I didn't like my first experience. And then the more I did it, the more I learned, the more I realized that I'm actually pretty good at this, and that made me more interested in learning how, different techniques and different things. I got to learn a lot about different coatings and things. Um,
Once
and
something becomes a skill, it has a different
I
impact.
really begun to enjoy the job. So that was kind of what made me really into it. Is the you feel productive. At the end of the day, you did a bunch of shit. Like I just did all this,
And you're
and
making
then go home.
progress. You can see,
Right,
you can
you
say,
can
you were
see the
looking at this
progress.
months ago. I didn't know how
It
to
is a
do this.
very satisfying. It's a very satisfying feeling. You know,
And
so I
that'll make
like
you
that.
stick around by itself, and you had the
I
money
mean, at
going.
least people
So
like us. I know. I don't know. Not everybody feels that
I
way,
think that's
man.
pretty
Some
normal. I
yeah,
think after years, excuse me, of being around people and talking to people the way I do and the way I have, I think when you hear people that are happy, and I don't like happiness as a pursuit, I prefer the word fulfillment because it ties
yeah,
into this idea right now of that a fulfilling life is not necessarily a happy life. Fulfilling life is challenging. Like for you, you stuck out a very difficult time to get to that progress. So that progress
yeah,
meant something. It
yeah.
wasn't something you got 3 weeks into the job where you're like, oh yeah, this is
Which
easy.
made the
You know, push a
fulfillment even
couple
more.
buttons.
Right.
Exactly. It's going through the hard times that makes things worth it. So
It's
I
like
think that's
reaching
a
a
very
goal
common
almost.
story.
It's a good feeling, you know.
Absolutely. So then, what's something about professional painting that most people don't understand? Um, I know you've told me in the
Is it?
past that like Talk to me
It,
more about the surprise you have when you give people a price, or things like
um,
that, things that catch you off guard that people are so unaware of when it
to
comes
be
to the
fair, it's like
painting
I
world.
would say the biggest thing for me is that people are very surprised at actually how much is involved in actually completing the job. There's more to do than just buying a can of paint from Home Depot and throwing it on the wall. There's it's not so simple as that. And plus, that's I don't normally paint walls. I normally paint steel, so it's a different story. But um,
Seals,
steel, no, like structural
steels.
structural steel. You know,
Got it.
exterior stuff.
What's that name? I
So
didn't put that in the intro. Did I say
oh
your
no, it
exquisite title?
uh,
What? I missed it.
industrial painting. So it would be it's special certified special coatings. Certified coating
Industrial
specialist
coating
essentially.
specialist.
Yeah,
That's
so that's it.
exactly what it
Industrial,
was.
yes. So you're not just opening a can of paint that's got water in it. You're opening kits of paint and mixing them together. There's a chemistry involved, sir. It's not just a little bit. I mean, there's
Ma'am, I'm
there's
part
work.
of the ICS. I'm the
Yes. I
industrial coating
mean,
specialist.
we
Do you
we
see
need to
this
do
badge?
we need to do all this stuff. I have a frick card that says it. My picture on everything. I flash it around all the time and show all the girls they love it. No,
Wow.
no, it's people are surprised at the amount of money it would cost to hire a professional painter to do something. Um, it's a profession, man. I went to school to do this. You can do it also, but if you don't want to do it, you're going to hire someone like me to do it. And
And this is what it's going
if
to cost.
it's going to cost you, because like I said, you're providing a service. You're providing a service just like you would to any part of your home. If you bring someone to your home to provide a service, you're not just going to do it for half a sneeze. They're going to charge you for the amount of the service. The service
Well, and the
itself is
market
worth and
dictates
everything.
that, right?
The market
That's
does
part of being in a
dictate
free
that,
market. Like
but
this is the market rate.
there's also those painters that are just like your little handyman down the road that'll price gouge the shit out of everybody and just do it for peanuts. And if you think that you're going to get a great quality job out of that guy, go right ahead.
You took the question away before I could
Right?
ask it.
No, so I'm saying
You get what you pay for.
you get what you pay for. It's the what do they call it? The carpenter's triangle. It's good, fast, and cheap. It's like you can have
Two
any
of the three.
two any way you want, but you can't have all three. It's that's just
Super
it.
well said.
It's just
I've
it's
never
a
heard it
simple
say the
thing.
carpenter's triangle,
I
but I
mean,
have heard
I
that
think
that
that's what it
term.
was told to me as, but I would say the tradesman's triangle. It's like you can have any two, but you can't have all three and
Correct.
expect, and when you want all three to be happy, but it's the problem is it's just not ideal, especially not in this
One
market.
of them's not. It's not. They don't fit together all at the same
No,
time.
I don't know. It is
So
surprising though.
then, so along those lines, then you see that kind of price situation. Do you do a lot of independent painting, or is it mostly the union work? Because I mean, man, your Snapchat, you send crazy stories around. Like
um,
you do heights and stuff that would make me throw up. I think.
well, I don't
Like
do
on
that
top of
because
bridges. Didn't you do the Twin Stadium? Didn't you do the Twin? Weren't you
I
on the Twin
did.
Stadium for a while?
I was on the Twin Stadium. That was actually the first job I took when I started Rainbow. I started Rainbow Industrial Painting Company in 2009, and they were just building the Twin Stadium then. And one of the pictures I took was the top of the Twin scoreboard. So the top of the
I
Twin
think those are the
scoreboard
ones
is
you were sending me.
is it's 383 feet,
Oh.
and that is not even that tall. Considering there's
For you
the
common folk.
oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that one is 283 feet, and so I was on the Viking Stadium too. I did the Viking Stadium also, and the peak
US
of
Bank.
that, yeah, US Bank, the peak of that, where the point that comes up in the stadium at it's like it's a weird shape, but there's a point that's the tallest point that's 320 feet.
How do they determine who goes up to the top? Is there people that they're like, yeah, you're the one kind of deal? Like
Well,
there's a group, there's a list that's like,
I
hey,
mean, they to be
call in
fair, they did go through
call in
quite a
the
few
righty.
people. They
We
had
know
they
who
had
doesn't get shaky knees when they're up
we
high.
had people that would do it willingly, and we did ask people, but there was a couple of people that they had to to get to go up there. They agreed to it, and then once we got up there and they got out of that skip elevator, they're like, "Oh, I gotta go down. I can't do this."
I need an adult.
So, but then you would get them to go out there, right? But then we had to go out and climb on the beams. Like the beams are just they're just beams. There's nothing underneath you. You're tied off to a just
Nope.
a rat line.
Nope.
You know, you're
Nope.
just walking on a 6-inch beam, and it's 18-degree angle, so it's sloped downwards, and you're just walking. And you got to go underneath and paint stuff. And no,
Negative,
so
Ghost
once they
Rider.
see what we had to do, they're like, "No, I
Flight
can't do this."
patterns full on.
We had a
Out.
guy. We had a guy work with us for one day. He got hired. He got hired. He asked. We asked him. He said, Can you do heights?" He was like, "Yeah, I can do heights."
It'll be
We put
fine.
we put that man in a lift. It was a 45-foot lift. That's the max height it goes up to, 45 feet. He was working 15 feet off the ground in this 45-foot lift. He looked up at us on the roof. He got down off that lift and he just left. He was there for not even 2 hours, bro. He said, "Fuck this." I mean, he's been a painter
Oh,
for a long time. I guess when you work in apartment complexes and you just work on walls, it's a different story for
yeah, I've
industrial
been up on a
coatings.
roof before. No big deal.
I mean, you've been on a roof that's like what 10, 12 feet off the ground. Sure, you've been on. You've been up some hundreds.
Why don't you tell us how things have progressed? So you've been around, you old vet. It's
Um,
2005, 20 years. What do you
the
think?
thing,
What do you
what
think's
to say,
changed the most?
as far as the industry goes, like, or just
Your
the things
job,
that you
your
see.
specifics.
So I have noticed that they're doing a lot more to ensure like project labor agreements and things. So like these big projects that the state funds and the government funds, they ensure a project labor agreement, meaning they only hire union contractors to work on this job, and that's a good thing. And it's also
Why do they do that?
because it solidifies the industry, because other trades in the industry have a very strong significant bond. You need all these trades to work together in order to complete these jobs. And if you are a union trade and you have a contractor you're working for, so it's like the main construction contractor is hired. Your painters, your tapers, your plumbers, your electricians, your carpenters. You have hired all these people, these industries, and they are all union. Great. It's perfect. It's symmetry. But then say
Because
you
they
have all these.
understand the
They
union work
understand. They
process.
understand the union work process, and it creates the prevailing wage system. So now, say you have all those contractors that have been hired that are union, and then you have one that is hired that is non-union. Now you have created a problem, because these other trades have now the union trades have been kicked out of this job to hire this non-union contractor in there. Now, what happens usually is these union
Kicked
contractors don't
out.
like that. They're like, "No,
Kicked
we're
out?
gonna hire this non-union contractor because they bid less than you, because they're trying to cut corners, essentially is what it was."
They
And
being the
what
project
happens
manager.
what happens is that job usually ends up, they get together, you bargain together, and they all go on a strike till you hire a union
Before it
contractor
starts?
before it gets too bad. It happens. It's happened a lot, but it usually
I
helps
want
if
the
you are
details.
if you so
Why? So give me an
so what it
example.
is.
Which
So what it
non-union
is,
contractor comes in and what do they do wrong?
I was just saying, okay, I can't give you too many details as far as that. What I can say is that,
G4
say for instance,
classified or what?
it's not G14 classified or anything like that. It's more so just like the specific trades. They're very passionate about having that project labor agreement. And if you are now all of a sudden allowed to bring in a non-union contractor, which is costing the general contractor less to bring in, but brings down the quality of the project, the quality of the completion of the project, it's unfair to the rest of the union contractors. If the other union contractors get word that they can bring in non-union contractors, then they start getting a little up in arms about the shit. See, because that means that other big, construction contractors that hire
Private?
subcontractors,
Private or
any
union?
any big contractor, if they are involved in a main project, and they agree
One
to
of
this
these
project labor
state-funded
agreement,
projects.
state funded projects, they agree to this project labor agreement, meaning that they have to pay everybody the same amount of money, right? It's or at least the union scale or above, kind of thing. You can't hire a bunch of apprentices and pay them apprenticeship wage. You have to hire them and pay them like
Believe
journeyman scale,
journeyman
because
wage. Yeah.
journeyman wage, yep, which is actually very beneficial for the apprentice, but not so much for the contractor. They don't like that on that.
Why? Because the apprentice is going to be lower quality, so they're getting paid for work that they're not capable of doing yet. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
But also, some jobs have to have apprentices on them. You have to have so many apprentices per journeyman in order to make sure that
Sure,
you're
but
training.
that's a
So, but
quota, but
what I said, it's a weird thing. There's a lot of these freaking this red tape bullshit that is involved here. Essentially, what it comes down to is they don't want to allow a general contractor to hire a non-union subcontractor on a project that's a large project like this, because then it will give other general contractors the idea that it's okay if you hire a non-union contractor to subcontractor to finish this work. Not necessarily painting in general, other trades as well, because if you
sure.
can hire a non-union contractor, that means now these unions aren't as strong as they used to be. They're not as needed. They don't need them. They wouldn't be as powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like the union up here in Minnesota, the Midwest, Chicago up here, it's all really strong.
Yes,
Down
it
south,
is.
not so much. Hey, they ain't got no power down there. Up here, the unions are strong. Wisconsin's a right to work state. Different
So
story.
can I push on a other side of the argument a
Okay,
little
go
bit?
ahead.
And I'm
I feel
this
like
is
I know where you're
curiosity
going. What's
talking.
up? What is
Well,
it?
because I mean,
No, go ahead. No, go
to
ahead.
me, when I think about business, right? Prices. We were talking earlier. We said you get what you pay for, and by and large, that's true. Um, Now, what you told me on the union job, correct me if I'm wrong, because I was trying to listen, is that state funds project, union contractors want union across the trades because quality they want to maintain high.
Want to maintain quality?
Yes?
Yep.
Now, you said that a non union contractor would come in and the quality would drop. There's got to be a private contractor out there that does as good or better work than the union. Yes or no?
No, you're not wrong. There is the downside is it's not necessarily that they're not capable of doing the work. What it is that the union requires you to put in so much to the union, and some contractors are just not into doing that. They don't want to give to the union. They don't want to contribute to the union, which I
But they
understand.
want that union check and they
They
want
want
those
that.
union
They
rates
want
for the
they
apprentice.
want that. They want the pay scale. You know what I'm saying, but they don't want to have to contribute to all those guys that are in the offices, fighting for whatever this or that, or making sure that we're getting prevailing wages and stuff, negotiating contracts with the state and everything. They don't want to
Sounds
pay those guys.
bogus. Sounds like a
It
bogus attitude.
it is. I mean, it's a bogus attitude, but in a sense, I mean, like after you work in it so long, you kind of have an understanding of why they would think that. But it's not
Because
something
it's
that you
wasteful.
dwell on. It's it's
Correct me
it's
if I'm
just
wrong.
what's that?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're frustrated after time because they think that some of it is wasteful.
Yes, that is exactly, you've hit it right there. That's exactly it. And you
I've
come
been
to
around for
think of it
20 years and you're
you
like,
come
this
to
is some
think of it as
bullshit.
you come to think of it as wasteful because you don't see much of what it is that they are doing. You know what I mean? Like they are doing stuff. You just don't see it because you're working. You're not worried about what the fuck they're doing. If they're
Well, they
working,
telling you,
if they
right?
were working, maybe
They're
you'd
out
see
there.
some more of what they're doing.
We
You know what I'm
got
saying?
you
Right,
35
right.
cents. And it
We
took all
fed you.
15 of us in the
We
room for
got
6 hours.
the next 4 years. You got $2 coming. I tell you. We're going to negotiate again. We'll come back around in 4 years. Do it again. No,
And I
I get,
need you to vote.
and that's exactly
I've
it. You
heard the
don't
hype.
see it. Where I worked, you didn't see that shit. You didn't see what they were doing. So it's like you don't have an appreciation for that part of it. So I guess I understand where the bitterness comes from. Working at Rainbow
Okay.
for however long, 15 years. I didn't go to those meetings anymore. Like I didn't
And you said,
understand
sorry to
a
cut you
lot of
off, you
stuff.
said Rainbow a couple times, but Rainbow is a large
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
industrial
Rainbow
union
Rainbow
contractor, yes?
Incorporated is the largest industrial painting contractor in the Midwest. So
Holy
there's
shit.
two really large painting contractors in this state. Rainbow Incorporated, which is an industrial coatings company, and then there is Swanson Youngdale. Swanson Youngdale is one of the largest commercial outfits there is in the state. They
Okay.
have over 200 employees and stuff. They do a lot of work, and they've been trying to compete with Rainbow for years. just can't quite do it.
Are they the only
But
two people that get a bid on a union job when the state cuts a check?
no, they're not. They just usually get
They're the only
first
ones that
dibs.
win.
They so
They're the only
well, yeah,
ones that
essentially.
win.
So the owner of Rainbow and the owner of Swanson are shareholders on like the like the big trades thing. They're
Hey,
like
you take this
they're
one,
big
but
they're
take the
big in that
next
motherfucker.
one.
No, yeah, they keep the Swanson be trying to poach Rainbow guys to do more of their industrial stuff because they don't have as much of an industrial side. But the
So
people
they've
that
been talking to you.
no
Psst.
man,
Hey kid. Hey.
I can't.
Psst.
I have no desire to work for Swanson Young. I'm not gonna. I don't. It's not that they're a bad company. I don't want to work for them. I do not. I do not
Heard
have
that.
any desire to.
Heard that. Oh
It's
yeah.
a joke to me, but we won't get into that. Anyway, um, I know
By and
that it's
large.
it's a weird thing with that, but there's just so much that happens in this industry that you really don't even see as a worker. So that's I'm learning that now
Well, it almost
after
sounds
all
like
these years.
government. It sounds like government. It
There,
sounds
there,
like a
yeah,
massive amount of.
there is a bunch of freaking politics involved that I'm
It
glad I never had to
really
deal with.
sounds.
I never had
It
to deal
really
with that
sounds
shit.
like there's so much bureaucracy and there's
Oh my
so much
God.
money involved that there's
And
a
that's
lot
like I
of
said,
competing
I was not
ideas that
aware of
lead to
that.
inefficiencies.
I was not aware of that as a younger painter, and I'm aware of it now, but I'm not aware of it enough to be like, I need to
And
understand that
that's
more
bad
and dig in.
business because I
Yeah.
mean the state's cutting tax dollars, right? Like that's coming. You guys are getting taxed twice. You're getting taxed on your check, and then you know what I mean. You're getting taxed on the. For you, you at least get some of it back.
I
at
mean,
least, at least you getting some of the Minnesota cut, right? Like
well, I think what did they say that I don't get taxed on overtime
especially when you
anymore?
were an apprentice.
Oh my
especially when
God,
you're an apprentice, getting that 50.
overtime, shit. I get my little apprentice check. I was like, wow, this is well, it was more I was making at the gas station, so I guess it was cool. But
Way more.
man,
Well, I think that's a good
uh,
transition now, talking about money, not to go too deep into that, but let's
right.
talk to the kids. Tell the next generation why or why not they should be getting into the trades. No, you're not necessarily painting, but like talk about
So
that pay scale. What would be good? Like think about a kid coming up right now, whatever age, 12, 8 to 18, thinking about something like that.
so
What
the
would you say to them if they were considering any of the trades?
I would say that like so for kids these days, a lot of the kids, it seems like it's a lost art to join the skilled trades. There's skilled trades. You join these trades, you learn how to a profession, you learn something that you can use everywhere. It is a very it's good to have the knowledge. Plus, it's something that it's a dying art. Like you these are things that you can't do with machinery. You can't do this with a computer. Like you can't get these things done without manual labor. And manual labor is
There's
involved in
no
a lot of this stuff.
robotics
There's
robotics
no
that's
AI that's
replacing
going to
you.
get this stuff done.
They're
Like
not going to
this
climb
is
up on top of twins in
yeah,
US Bank and
exactly.
get
This is I mean they're
that
probably trying to
walk
figure
down
out a
on
way to get that
beams.
done, but this trade it's a art that it involves skill, an actual certain level of skill, and you want to be able to do that, and you want to be able to learn that, and we need more of that in this world.
We
We
do
need
need
more
more of
people
it.
that want to do it, more people that discover how powerful it is to gain the knowledge. You can build a damn house. You watch those damn videos of those people doing the little clay houses and shit. You can dig a hole and make a house out of just dirt.
It gives you confidence to
You can
tackle other
learn to do this
tasks.
stuff. It makes you want to learn to do that stuff.
Yes, because you see the progress, like we were talking about earlier.
Yes,
You see the skill
exactly.
building.
You can see it. It's something that you don't
I
even
also,
realize how much you need to feel fulfilled like that.
I also think it's super underrated the ability to have physical activity in your work. Now that I have kids, and you know you have kids, like what are they like on a Saturday if they don't get exercise in the morning, right? If you let them watch cartoons till 10, 11 o'clock, how are they around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, right?
They're
If they haven't been able to
obnoxious.
run it out, they're obnoxious.
They're
Yes.
like just whiny and like just
And
oh my
then
god.
we
They
watch these kids sit in school from 8 until 3 o'clock every day, and we wonder why they're squirrely at 3 o'clock. Like what? You gave them 20 minutes of recess at noon after you pumped them full of carbs and sugar. Like there's so
no,
much.
you need
There's a
to
just
get
a lot
in
of
there.
peace that comes
Hands-on
with being
stuff is
physically
important.
active.
You need to do that.
Yes.
Hands-on stuff is important.
And not sitting behind a desk like I have, you know what I mean, for
I
all these years. Now I've
I
had
don't
my fair share of physical work too, but
dude,
obviously, still
I've actually never sat behind it. Wait, nope. I was a front desk clerk at a hotel for a little while when I was like
Don't
17.
you stand up for that too?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was standing up. Yeah, no, I was standing up, and I
Oh
was
yeah,
behind, but I was behind
yeah.
the desk.
Sure, sure. That's funny.
No, I can't. I
All
can't
right.
do
Well,
that desk stuff. Fuck that.
so then you talk about the fulfillment piece. What would be the practical? What do they do if they want to get into the union? What do the kids do? What do they do
So okay, I think it's changed a little bit now, but as far as I know,
if they
if
are
you want,
interested? What's the process?
if you are interested in joining the union trades, the best bet is to like kind of research which trade really calls to you. Like there's so many different Job Corps programs that offer a startup way into the trades themselves, and most trades actually offer apprenticeship that doesn't cost you anything. You would pay for the training for it out of your paychecks in small
Or your
increments.
scratch off? Or your scratch
Yeah, I mean, you not everybody can get lucky to get that entry fee
off?
done right, like I did. I mean, clearly, I mean,
But what do they do? Do they go to a site? Is there a Minnesota?
um,
Because there used to
so
be a
there's
Department of Labor and Union.
like I said, the for the Department of Labor and Union, I don't know if that's the case anymore. I think that see each trade has their own union hall, like their own district council, their own place to go and where you would handle any issues you have, any questions about training or questions about hiring. That they each have their own like building or facility that you would go to. I know for the painters, the facility's in Little Canada. It's off of Little Canada Road. It's a 694. It's a really nice facility.
What's the name of it?
It's called the District Council 82 for the IUPAT. Too many damn acronyms, I'll tell you that. But it's also the Minnesota School of Finishing Trades.
We'll find the link and put it in the description here so
Yeah,
people
I
can
don't know.
find it. If
But it's like I said, it's a
I'll find
school and
some
it's
links.
also a
I'll do
training
a little
facility.
research for the people.
Yeah,
Get it.
yeah. So
Give them
that's
some
what.
things to click
But
on.
you can research them online, and everything has all the information you need to join a trade is online for that trade. But you'd have to figure out which trade you want to research. You know what
So
I'm
then
saying? Like,
tell those kids what they're gonna have to go through and what they're gonna have to think about the first 90 days. Tell them what they should what kind of mindset should they have. And forget the kids.
um,
Anybody coming into the trade, like that can happen at whatever age. But if you go over to the trade, what should they expect the first 90 days, and what should they think in order to make it work for them?
so I said, I guess the way that people are joining this industry nowadays is through Job Corps. I'm not really sure much about that,
Job Corps
the
a
way that they're
recruiter isolated from the
It
union.
it's like a it's a program that you can it's like a school itself. It's almost like a alternative college. You know what I mean? Like you know, the
Vocational
alternative high
school.
schools. Yeah,
Like
something
I
like
went
that.
to a
Yeah.
vocational school, right?
So it's like it's like a college that will give you different options of which industry you want to train in, and it's I think they mostly work with just trades or military, and then they teach you the basics that you need to know to get into it, and then from there you transition to
They
the
connect you
union
with the
hall.
people, the hiring
Yep.
people.
And
Yep.
then you would get hired by a contractor. I don't know if you have to do it yourself or if they find you one to work for. I think nowadays you probably have to. I think they probably find you one nowadays. It seems like that's the case, you know, which is nice because that would be easier than you find it yourself. People having to put that effort in. They don't like that shit. You know, you don't have to give a resume to nobody, so that's a plus.
Do you want anybody to be able to find you that's watching this? Are you good with your union gig? You want people to hit you up for painting, anything like that? You
There was
no
a
networking? Is there any
dude.
networking opportunities I can offer you for being here?
There was a time where I was all about taking that side work, but I'm not about that no more. No, I do it occasionally.
Oh,
I do it
that union
occasionally.
money.
No,
Union money got me
it
fat and
ain't even
happy.
that.
That union money's got me fat and happy.
I just don't have that. I don't have that. I don't want to do that no more. It's a
Heard
lot of
that.
work. It's a lot of
Heard
work.
that.
I got a
That's all
family,
good.
you know. I need to make time to enjoy my life too. I mean, I've been doing this
Priorities.
a long time, so my free time is my free time. You know what I mean?
You earned it. You earned it, cuz.
Right.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been fun. I'm glad. I'm surprised it was this long.
A couple of us start chopping
I
it up.
mean, you know,
It'll
you never know what happens,
we could talk about a lot of good things. I love you, cuz.
right?
I'll talk to you soon.
I love you too, bud.
Later.